I want to move on to our next speaker now. And after being called to the Ontario Bar in 2009, Nital wasted no time in establishing Gosai Law, a firm specializing in civil litigation and personal injury. By celebrating female and BIPOC excellence and providing flexible work arrangements, Nital embraced diversity, equality, and inclusion and has leveled the playing field and created an environment where everyone could thrive. With notable successes in groundbreaking cases involving prisoner rights and administrative segregation, Nital Gosai continues to make a profound impact in both the legal profession and the community. So please welcome on stage Nital Gosai.
Thank you. I'm a bit tall for this. There we go. That's a hard act to follow, Bert. He was like, oh, I can't wait to hear you talk. And I was like, because you knew what you were going to do. I'm going to slow it down a little. I don't have any visual aids, just me. So when we think of litigation, and it's a perspective on litigation, so when we think of litigation, we think of adversaries on opposite ends of, two different sides, prepared to put up rigorous fights, and somebody has to win. That's what our legal system says, that someone must win. And that there's this prerequisite that in order for us to win and be victorious in that adversarial space, we have to be tactful, we have to be knowledgeable, persuasive, all things that are fine. But that there's been a social normalization and expectation that we also be abrasive, sharp, not mental sharpness, but kind of like the knife sharp, and have this overall, I'm going to screw you more than you're going to screw me attitude. And I'm not talking parties to the action, we've either heard of or have ourselves unfortunately been involved in, like me, in divorce proceedings where two parties that claim they loved each other at some point in their life now just hate each other. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about lawyers, the folks who are given the job of upholding the entire value system of our legal environment and legislation. And so in Europe and out of North America, I'm from North America, in case my accent didn't give it away, but I'm not American, I'm Canadian, and there's a big difference, okay? But there's an expectation around what it means to be a litigation lawyer. And that the expectation is that you have to be strong, you have to have really, 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 really thick skin. And that you have to be able to outdo and beat your opponent by the largest runway possible in order to succeed. And that means you can lie, you can cheat, and cement your position into the ground. And don't waver from that. Don't let anyone know that your case has weaknesses because, hello, every case has weaknesses. And be unpleasant because that means you're serious. And be mean because that's part of your job. And we're okay with it. You would be surprised at how many times opposing counsel, who in Canada, by the way, when we are in court, we call our friend. So we have to procedurally call the opposing lawyer my friend. And so the amount of times that my friend in the past has reminded me that in excusing their unpleasant, mean behavior, that, hey, don't forget, we are on opposing sides of an adversarial process, and so I'm excused from being mean. I say, no, you're not, but anyway. And we're sold this dream that if you can do all of these things, I was sold this dream, but if you can do all of these things, be smart, but then be mean, you're gonna make lots of money and you're gonna be happy, as though making money and fighting all day with your friend is going to make you happy. So they say. And, TV and social media, I think, really perpetuate what a litigation lawyer looks like. And, this idea that we're liars and we're schemers and we're cheats is accepted widely, especially in North America and Europe. So let's get to me now. As a first-generation South Asian in Toronto, I grew up in a house where my parents decided for me what I was going to do when I was probably born. And they thought that if they repeated it over and over and over again, that we were going to listen. So I have a sister and two brothers. The girls listened. The boys didn't, but I don't think that's a topic for today's conversation. And there I was. At some point in my teenage years, becoming a lawyer became my greatest goal. And I knew that it was going to make my parents proud, and that just made it all that better. So I get into a prominent Canadian law school. And I think to myself, okay, that's it. Like, I'm going to make it. I'm in. This is it. I'm going to make lots of money and I'm going to be happy. All the things that I've seen in Western television, it's all going to come true for me. I get to school after having achieved incredible success in my undergraduate degree. And in about a week, I'm flattened. There is incredible self-doubt. Do I even belong here? I don't understand these people. I don't have parents that are lawyers. I don't know anything about the law. I was just sold a dream, and it's starting to look like that dream is fictitious. But I'm in law school now, so shit, I have to do it. I'm going to get through it. I'm pretty smart. I can do this. And my mom's going to kill me if I quit. So I'm going to just do it. In about the first maybe 3 months, we realize, me and a couple of girlfriends of mine, that there is this toxic competitiveness that they perpetuate within the law schools to the point where students are ripping out pages out of textbooks that we all need so that we can't have access to them. What the heck is going on? And I'm paying you $100,000 a year to be here. This is stupid. Anyway, I get through it. I think to myself, you know what I'm going to do? I get one of those sit in the back kind of legal jobs where no one can see me and I just do what I'm doing and I'm still a lawyer, so my parents are still proud, but I don't have to face anybody. Life did not have that plan for me. Coming out of law school, I end up getting a litigation job. And I'm like, hold on, what? I got the job. I was just interviewing for fun. You want me to be a litigation lawyer? So what does that mean? I have to talk to judges and get them to side with me. And I have to call someone my friend, and they're not really my friend. I'm not going to survive this. But I do. And at first, I think opposing counsel's being really nice to me. And they are, but they're not. They're just taking advantage of my inexperience, and I'm like, what? Okay, it's time to quit. I do about 2 years at my firm, where not only am I dealing now with hideous asshole opposing counsel, but I'm also dealing with a firm environment that's perpetuating within the firm toxic competitiveness. What they're doing, so it's like I'm reliving my law school nightmare. And what they're doing is that they're offering monetary incentives based on an eat what you kill system to the people that work inside of the firm. And what is that doing? It's entrenching scarcity ideals in a system that's operating on aggression and anger, which is fueled by, it doesn't matter if I win or lose, I'm just not going to be enough in this place. This is all happening, and I'm 27 years old, and that was a long time ago, so I'm not going to give away my age any more than that. So I see all this chaos, and I'm like, I did not go to law school for this. I went to law school thinking I was going to change the world. What the heck am I doing here? So I declare, I'm not doing this anymore. And how am I going to go and work for another firm? It seems to me, and the notes on the street and the whisper is that it's like this everywhere. In fact, it's worse. I'm like, shit. Okay. So I opened up my own law firm by myself. And I don't know how to do that successfully because I don't have an aunt or an uncle or a mom or a dad or anyone that can model that for me or to help me without being competitive. So I leave. Thankfully, my assistant, who's brilliant and an angel, comes with me. Over the last 13 years, now you know my age, if you're good at math, the firm has grown and we've added incredible, wonderful people from different walks of life to our team. And what's at the center of Gosai Law, which I needed to create in order to stay, is that our resting heart rate is kindness, empathy, and compassion. Something I wasn't able to find anywhere outside of the company that I had to create in order to stay in the litigation field. And how do we do it, right? Because I can tell you this is what I did, but how did I do that? And how do I continue to do that? So kindness through sharing is very important inside of the firm walls at Gosai Law. So with the staff, company-wide, we instituted monthly check-ins. This was years ago. And the objective is to get heart close with the people that are working with us. They are my team. I am nothing without them. And they know that because I tell them all the time. And if they try to insinuate that they want to leave because of whatever, I say, no, you have to sit down. Here's all the reasons why you can't leave me. I've worked so hard to have you here. Don't leave. And luckily, in all of these years, I've probably never had somebody leave me electively. So there you go, you know? So we get heart close to them. And the objective there is figuring out and understanding what their goals are and whether or not they're happy and if they're feeling fulfilled in this job that I'm giving to them. And yes, I can't be the one doing it all the time, but there's someone that's very important at the firm that's creating these meaningful relationships, with the staff through this monthly discovery process. Then we do kindness through flexibility, where we support our staff whenever they need, whether it's because of family obligations or because of something has come up in your life. So I'm going to make it flexible for you. There is no rigidity around what your job and the office hours looks like. And how do I do it with those friends of mine on the other side? So kindness and interaction has been a key thing that I think in the last 13 years has helped me become successful in what I do. Being mindful of the tone that we use, and I know somebody earlier spoke about this, our tone is so important. Somebody did the thank you. So important. And not using aggressive language, because in my field, it's very, very easy to be like, fuck you, pretty much. But we don't. I don't use that language. And often, again, someone talked about mirroring, if you have to be the change that you want to see. And so non-aggressive use of language is imperative. And then engaging in life talk. So when we were in person prior to the pandemic, now everything's on Zoom, I would engage in life talk with folks. And I would give them these opening statements like, hey, how was your weekend? How are those Blue Jays? I don't think you guys know who the Blue Jays are, but it's our national baseball team. So just engaging in life talk. And the net effect of that is that I end up disarming the litigation armor that everybody's wearing. And so what I get is a humanization of the entire process. So in the end, and I'm quickly done, is that changing the narrative around what effective, strong, successful litigation counsel looks like and behaves like is at the heart, I think, of the kindness revolution in litigation. All with the objective of promoting happiness, like we've heard, in the workplace, preventing so much dissatisfaction and burnout. So thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you, Preet and Christian and all of the other speakers. I appreciate it. Thanks.